So this is winter now, and there was DLC that came out for this game sometime afterwards. And it takes place in between now and the scene we just watched.
This won't last very long.
It doesn't really make a lot of sense to play it after the game is over, and we'll probably be done with the game by then. So we're going to actually hop out of here after the end of this movie and switch right to the DLC.
You'll just start.
I do love how confident that Ellie is in the cutscene. Now, I've never played the DLC, so I don't know what happens, but I love the idea that Ellie is suddenly, like, a hunter capable of feeding herself and taking care of Joel.
Most people can honestly figure this shit out when they really need to.
I don't know. I don't know how to eat fucking nachos or whatever.
Okay, here's the thing. I mean, like, okay, so medical issues aside, like, when you're out in the middle of nowhere, like in the woods and stuff, like, you think you can't handle that. Like, you think, you know, you're just gonna, like, stumble around and die. But honestly, like, most people actually kind of tap into something they didn't really, like... It's like they didn't really have to think about it before, and now suddenly, they have to do it themselves, you know, they have nothing to do but do this and figure this out, so they do.
It's worth noting that the DLC expands upon how she got to that point.
Yeah. It's like, for example, when you, like, you know, when you think about, like, people who are shipwrecked, and you talk to them, they're like, yeah, I created a still out of all this stuff. And I'm like, how did you know to do that? And they're like, I figured it out. I had no other choice.
You know, but that's like the two guys that figured out how to make a still out of the 400 guys that got shipwrecked and the 398 that died. Get down.
Well, yeah, but a lot of times you don't, like, that's not even so much because of avoidable circumstances, that's just because, yeah, it's roll the dice and you came up, you're fucked.
Stay the fuck back!
Hey, it's that stuff we just watched last
previously on spoiler warning.
Drop her on me.
I remember me looking a lot more badass when this happened. I don't know.
I seem to remember that we were looking really cool, and then this is not what I remember.
Yeah, I think there was a part where when I flipped over the window, I actually did a roll and then shot the dude who was behind Ellie.
I did a wheelie on a horse, and then I did a bunch of backflips.
You gotta tell me what to do. You gotta get out.
And then Ella was like, oh, Joel, you really are the best of us.
I like that my voice is like a Fat Albert voice. This is just terrible.
Is this Joel's voice? What was it?
That needs to be a video game voice. It needs to be a video game.
So this is before she met Joel, right? This is way, way back.
Yes, this is... Note that she does not have cordyceps on her arm.
Oh, please tell me we're gonna learn to drive a stick, and we're going to skip swimming lessons.
What the hell? I thought I was bitten.
I know. It was kind of awesome.
The weird thing is when I saw her, I was like...
You're not gonna kill me, are you?
I'm not sure if she's younger or older than she's supposed to be in the main game.
And I don't even know.
But she looks one of those two.
45 days. Well, 46.
It's this DLC is a bit weird. They say, like, oh, you should wait until the end of the game to play the DLC, but there's no spoilers for the end of the game, and there's a bunch of stuff that shows up in your inventory in the winter segment that makes no sense without having played this.
No way.
Still no roommate? I had to sleep under Liz for 3 years, and you know how bad that girl smelled.
Okay, now here's a downside to us having, like, Josh has played through all of this, but I just watched the movie
Joel or
of
Josh.
this. Yeah, whatever, whoever you are, Joel.
You still have it up.
You're Joel from now on.
What?
But now we're into the part of the game where I have neither played nor watched, and so I don't have any commentary. I just want to watch
there are no
this.
soldiers on the entire floor.
Here, congrats.
Hey.
I vaguely know what happens, having finished both the game and knowing what happens to the DLC, but I have not watched or played this either.
Mad.
Well, this should be interesting.
I owe you an explanation. Let's get out of here and I'll tell you all about it.
It's almost morning.
This is
And
not
I
a
have
15-year-old
military drills.
conversation. Like, this other
You know,
character,
we
is
learn how
she's
to kill
supposed to be
fireflies.
18? She looks small, but
Put
her
some
face
pants
looks
on and let's
older,
go.
and her dialogue doesn't sound like a 15-year-old or whatever.
Come on.
Well, I think
What
it's
have we ever
worth
gotten in
noting
trouble?
that this is after the apocalypse. You probably have to grow up a little bit earlier.
It just sounds odd. Like, she doesn't sound authentic the way Ellie sounds authentic.
Now we cut back to just
Okay, I'm gonna put you on your side.
hours at most afterwards. The thing that we just saw.
Jesus.
Oh man,
People are basically
that is a
done
dead
right?
kidney right there.
That
Yeah.
is... I'm sorry, Joel, you are dead. I'm sorry, you're not
Jor-El.
coming
I
back.
said
Jor-El's
that's what I
dead.
said. Like,
His
oh,
only
they're
hope-
gonna kill Joel.
His only hope is to put Ellie in a rocket ship and send her off towards another planet far away and hope that that sun gives her superpowers.
Are you gonna put a tourniquet on his torso, Ellie?
Sometimes.
Because I don't think that's gonna work out the
Something
way
to stitch
either
you
of you want.
I gotta cut off blood to your
Alice?
legs
Keep an eye on him.
and stomach.
Okay, the horse is on the job. We're gonna find out that the reason he survived is that this horse is a medical miracle.
I'll be back in a flash. Promise.
And now that Ellie is gone, it is time to perform the experiment.
Ellie's gone for like 6 days, and the horse ends up vomiting into his mouth so that he can eat.
I totally got this.
Personally, I think this DLC is actually better than the main
Where the fuck
game.
do I go?
I totally go. Oh, look at this snow falling inside. Is this a mall?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a
Oh.
mall.
Yeah,
I
like
remember this
yeah,
thing
no,
they
but take
pick
care
up
of
down
those
here.
skylights. Yeah, absolutely, that makes sense.
I don't think so. But climb
That's
up.
actually a good point, is why would the skylights collapse? I don't think anybody maintains those in the real world. I'm pretty sure the mall that I go to has giant skylights just like that. That mall's 30 years old,
So-
and I'll bet you none of the skylights have been replaced.
To have some sort of, metatextual talk here, is it interesting that both The Walking Dead and The Last of Us both began with us with our datification of video games and raising a daughter figure, and then the sequel/DLC both involve us sort of taking control of that daughter figure and sort of seeing how well we did? How did we raise
Yeah.
this lady character to be a survivable adult?
Yeah, and Bosch. I mean, like burial at sea, I guess.
And the Burial at
Sort
Sea
of,
has got its
yeah.
own, million different complicated
Questions for
problems.
Here's a-
Burial at Sea has a
Missing?
deep-seated series of problems. Let me put it that way.
Here's my here's a bit of a conspiracy theory. Game designers themselves are probably just as sick of dude broing their way through the world as we are, but a lot of the
thought I told it not to give me
sameness of our
tutorial
protagonists, a lot of the sameness of our
Did you just swallow
protagonists
the pills
are
and leave the
mandated
bottle?
from above. Marketing, the suits they want. We want to hit that 30-year-old white male protagonist. So this is the game designers trying to get away from that by giving us this very different kind of character as a companion.
Uncharted 2.
I did like that. I did like that moment where it's like, did you just swallow the pills and leave the bottle? Because that's exactly the kind of I like to
Another
think that even
Uncharted
after
2.
I really like to think that even after the apocalypse happens, it's not going to be that there's an end to discovering something stupid someone else did and wondering what the fuck was going through their head. It's more like they're just less likely to be there to answer for it.
Anyway,
We're looking for stitches specifically and disinfectant in order to, keep Joel from bleeding out. And I'm sure it won't take us 4 hours to find them.
The pharmacist.
Please read. Pharmacist went crazy and attacked me. I hit him pretty hard. I locked him in a store next door. Are you telling me that store remained locked for 20 years?
Well,
and that the
yeah, I don't know.
cordyceps man inside remained alive as a cordyceps
First
monster.
aid kit. How the fuck do I get inside?
Kick it. Kick the door.
She's
How
a
do
little
I
lady.
get in? Maybe the fire axe? Maybe I need to go out and kill my brother with a fire axe?
I could have sworn this was the part where zombies showed up. I guess not.
35 right, 3 left, 31 right. That worked.
Okay.
Shit, spores.
Actually, I like the
They're gonna
brick.
jump out
Bricks
at
are
me.
better.
Go ahead and fucking do it.
I like that she...
Da-na-na-na.
Oh wow, her dialogue is so great. So this zombie has been growing spores in here
Oh man,
for all this time.
don't come to life, don't come
Yep.
to life. Nothing.
No.
You know what I love about
no,
Ellie's
no.
dialogue?
What do you love about Ellie's dialogue?
Okay.
Well, just that, like,
Fuck!
in other games,
Damn it.
say, for example, Borderlands, the young, hip dialogue is supposed to be the thing we empathize with. But in The Last of Us, Ellie's dialogue is supposed to be the thing we sort of, I don't want to say look down on, but it's clearly it's the kid talking like
Dear
a kid while we're the
Christ.
adults.
Yep.
Also, other cool stuff that Ellie has in her inventory. Pun books.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Josh. No,
Dishonored
pun
good.
books.
no. Do not give
pun
Rudscar
books.
no. Stop it. Stop it.
I love this. This is character development in the inventory screen. That's amazing.
This is a peek into Rudscar's brain. I don't like it.
I will say I actually really appreciate like the most fun part for me in Unrest of just doing these sort of once you've got all the dialogue written, just like doing all the cleanup batting was coming up with what is in each character's inventory and what the description for each item is. So that's sort of like because that was really the point of our inventory. Except for a few characters who actually have to like get items or can get items that are useful in certain circumstances.
I not
Mostly
have
the
a
inventory
knife?
just exists to show you what it's like for these people on a daily
Oh, I
basis.
totally have a knife.
Yeah, there was no prompt there. There was no prompt
Yeah, I
to
don't
like.
fucking know.
You've played through this,
I guess
though,
you're
right?
Yeah, I have, but maybe you're supposed to throw stuff this time.
Josh says that about every game, though. Like, I played through it. We'll just deal. Whatever.
This was like 2 months ago.
Have you played through this, Josh? Yeah, sure. I played through it. Whatever. I played through it.
Sure, I played through the tutorial on easy 5 months ago.
Cassandra died.
We're good.
At least I think it was this game. It had Reapers in it.
Some kid died. I don't know.
Yes.
That was pretty video gamey. Is open a locked door to get the key to open a locked door. But this is a great touch is that you go in there and it doesn't have what you want.
A military helicopter.
Well, I know why
that's pretty
this
great.
ceiling collapsed.
Hang in there.
Wait,
Joel.
if this is
Wait,
open,
is
then
that-
why didn't you come in this way?
Aww.
No, there's another door that you couldn't get through. I didn't
course.
show it, I guess, because I knew it was there. For stuff in here for fun times. I guess not.
Look for more joke books.
Yeah, see, we got this fence. Hey, what's up?
Yeah, what did cause... Okay, I guess there's the crashed helicopter caused all this damage.
I mean, maybe 20 years with extreme weather conditions might have rotted the roof.
Yeah, that sounds pretty far-fetched. But I could believe if one skylight was broken, and there was a pilot. But this is a wrecked mall. This is a comprehensively wrecked mall.
The skylights out.
I'm slowly realizing that this game is like the perfect spoiler warning game because there's like a character that has pun books, and there's a lot of deep themes, and there's cannibalism, and there's lots of zombie like survivalist lore to have obsessive this doesn't make sense complaints about, and then there's lots of ways to subvert the mechanics, and it's like every one of us gets what we want.
And what about this dead guy? What does he eat, huh? Explain to me that video game.
So this is the running story here, which is that this was like quarantine zone guys, military guys in a helicopter. One of them got bit. And the leader said that she had killed him, but in fact she cut his arm off, and we'll be finding notes about that. But now we cut back to young Ellie.
So what is Ellie's friend's name? Just so I know.
Riley.
Thank you.
You're kind of fast there.
This is like Ellie Begins. It's like Batman Begins.
Well,
but
no, it actually
Ellie.
frames a lot of the ending as in terms of how she trusts people.
So,
from what I understand.
how did you find them?
The Fireflies?
Yeah.
Anyway, Riley got recruited into the Fireflies.
Yeah, I remember him.
That's Trevor.
Ellie is
I saw
not
him walking down the street, so
as impressed or happy
I
about this
followed him into
development
the alley, and all
as
the
you might
Fireflies
imagine.
ambushed me. They took me right to their hideout, to Marlene.
Were you scared?
Terrified. I thought this time she
Frickin' Marlene, I hate Marlene so much.
And she just made you a
Well,
firefly?
apparently some people think
like
she's a
that?
hero,
That whole
Camster, so there.
She
I don't see you with a mugshot with hero written over it.
That's true. I've never seen that mugshot. I can confirm that.
Come on.
White gold.
We're making
Go
good
back
time.
and get the toilet paper. Okay, now this is an inhabited place. Now this is even, and you are not raiders. This is inhabited by civilized
hang out with
people.
these days?
So the existence
know.
of this toilet paper is even
one really.
more perplexing
What
to me.
about Tino and the rest of the guys? How are they doing?
Riley, those are
No,
your friends.
go this way.
But you
No,
talked to
that
them.
way. There we go.
Yeah, I guess.
I love the rain effect on the windows, by the way.
That's really pretty.
Oh yeah.
I'm
Those some
stuck
fat
on
drops
that
of
table.
rain.
They are really fat drops, but
Just like the beats I make.
Found the light yet?
no,
har, har.
no, completely unlike your
Raindrops fat
Damn
like the
it.
beats I drop. Trying to rap,
what?
but I just always flop.
Buy into this whole thing now?
My name is
All I know
Camster,
is
and I'm
I'm
here
not
to
so-
say, lunar narrative dissonance is threatening video games. Kick it.
I quit.
That was
I'm
the
done.
worst thing
I'm
that's
never
ever
gonna
happened
spoil
to
warning
any of us.
again.
30 days, my ass. People are
Don't
being
be a.
infected
Does
all the
it say
time. They
don't
just
be
do
a
good
sheep
job
or don't be a
fighting it.
sheeple?
You've run into more infected?
As part
Did
of
that
my
say
be a
sheep or
training,
sheeple?
they made me kill
Okay. Because if that had said sheeple, that would have justified
No.
every firefly you kill in this game. I'm sorry.
Is there terrible graffiti artists?
Sheeple is just one of those, that sort of sneering, condescending term that just immediately sets me on edge.
I'm actually
'Cause it's
really
used
sad
for
that it got
Rudsguard.
phased out. I'm really sad that word got phased out because it was actually really useful. Like if I ever saw it, I could just like stop paying attention to somebody.
It was a good filter.
Yeah, and now it's like word has gotten out that if you use that word, people know that you're an arrogant asshole who is solipsistic out like the wazoo.
Hey, so
Rutsgarn is such a
maybe I
sheeple.
should join the Fireflies.
He hasn't seen the true path.
That was the first
Can you
time.
even say like singular sheeple?
She wants you safe.
It's like Sheeperson.
I'm not even supposed to.
She's worried I'll get you into trouble.
Whatever.
Man, you're such a sheeperson.
On my own.
I'm gonna actually add that to my lexicon because people won't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Hey, remember the
It was just explained to me and I don't
What are you doing
know.
here, Riley?
I've stopped knowing things I knew a minute ago. That is how confusing you
Is
are.
it a dinosaur?
James, you're such a
I'll
sheeperson.
be your friend again if it's a dinosaur.
He'll just have to wait and see.
That sounds like borderline sexist because it sounds like sheeperson. I prefer the term woolly mammoth for sheep person.
You're a woolly
It sounds-
American.
It sounds like
I
Sheeperson,
got them
like
back.
Johnson or
Our
Thompson.
watermelons?
It sounds like, you know, one of those
You telling me Corporal
surnames.
Dickhead gave
I'm
them back
John
to you?
Sheeperson.
Of course not. I just sneaked into his office. Riley,
I like that line back there, by the way.
But your ass got
Is it a
caught.
dinosaur? Maybe. I'll be your friend again if it's a dinosaur.
What'd he do to you?
Scrubbing duty for 2 weeks. Bathrooms.
Oh, Ellie. I keep telling you to give up on them.
No, I'm sorry. There is
back.
nothing in this society that's been
Will
scrubbed.
be mine again.
I'm sorry, video game, but you failed on your world.
Well, I mean,
building
we
there.
are in the uninhabited sections.
But we've seen the inhabited sections, and they were not. We saw that at the beginning of the game, and there was nothing.
You heard?
It looked like nobody owned a broom
how it
in
happened?
the
I
post-apocalyptic.
like that
world.
subtlety there where
City
like you
just
can
fell
hop
off
up onto the
his
banister and walk along like she does,
Yeah.
but you don't have to. You know, it's just like
Well, how many people get to die of natural causes in this world?
None that I know of.
Exactly. So, let's see what he left us.
Really?
So they're talking
Hey,
about their
Riley.
friend Wilson.
Riley is also sounds old. Like both of these girls have grown women as their voice performers,
What?
but Riley's voice performer
Is this Winston?
sounds like a grown woman.
Or Winston,
Yeah,
whatever.
I used to be
Yeah.
handsome.
Yeah.
Bingo. Want some?
Oh, man. Yes. Hell yes. Get the
Not
drinkings.
beer, please. Oh. Oh my god. Oh, here. It's disgusting.
I'm a terrible person.
Cheers, Winston.
what a waste.
That's awesome. I do love little moments like that. I just
Come on.
Puts it back in without corking it. Bottle fills up
I
the cool.
know. I thought the same thing. I was like, come on. That's.
happened
It
to
didn't even
Princess?
look like she screwed
I
the lid
assumed
back
after
on or
Winston died,
whatever.
they took her
Party
away.
foul. Party foul.
I also
She's probably out there
suspect that
terrified.
Winston, since he apparently had a horse, was the one who taught Ellie how to ride a horse. This is their friend that died. It's apparently of a heart attack,
It
of all
turns-
things.
It turns out he wasn't really into horses. He liked carrying the saddle around, and that was his Captain Picard's cosplay.
That fucking episode is like the worst one.
There are two
Well, actually,
people
it's
that will
not
get
that
that joke.
bad, but the
Worst episode of
subplot
what?
on the planet. There's an episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation where Captain Picard just wants to get his goddamn saddle, but everything keeps conspiring against him getting this saddle, and then it also turns into Die Hard on the Enterprise.
I'm actually really suspicious whenever anyone declares something the worst episode of Star Trek because, man,
Competition
like, I don't
is
care how much you
fierce.
like Star Trek, that is a
Yeah.
fierce competition, yes.
It is not actually the worst episode of Star Trek, but oh my god, half of that episode is really awful.
I think I know what
They-
Josh thinks the worst episode of Star Trek is. Josh, what do you think the worst episode of Star Trek is?
The Voyager one where they go faster than infinite
Hey, Riley.
speed and then they turn into
Yep.
salamanders.
Yep.
Get you up and over.
Yes.
See if you can
Yes.
unlock it from the inside.
It's an
That'll
That
be
abomination.
doesn't sound like a real episode.
It
It's a real
really
episode.
happened.
That sounds
It
exactly
is-
like a fake Star Trek episode that would be on something awful like forgotten episodes of Star Trek.
Well, you see
The
anything?
runner-up would be the original series one where it's the
Riley?
where they read the Declaration of Independence on an alien world where they also wrote the Declaration of Independence.
Oh, that. What about Spock's brain?
No,
did we
no, it's
never
not even
find
close.
it?
They stole Spock's brain!
I got the perfect mask for you.
I'm surprised nobody's mentioned the Naked Now yet.
Riley,
Perfect.
Okay, Naked Now was really bad.
Check it out. What is that, like a wolf?
I will
Okay.
admit that, but you know, first season of Star Trek: The Next Generation was like bad like that pretty much all around anyway.
You know what? We should do a podcast. We should have a podcast where we talk about stuff.
Well, then you would complain about me talking about like an 80s TV show instead of video games.
Really?
No, what would happen is okay, this week we're going to talk about worst episode of Star Trek, and then we'd spend the whole time talking about The Last of Us.
Come on, Josh, roar.